Hello and welcome to Anatomy of Marriage, Marriage Mornings. I'm your host, Melanie Studley.
Good morning. My name is Seth and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And today is day 41 of the Infinity Day Marriage Morning Challenge.
The topic today is learning is loving, but before we dive into that, welcome. If you're new, this is our marriage morning format. We have other regular format shows, over 100 of them, about all sorts of topics, sex and intimacy, family of origin, miscarriage, all sorts of different things. So go check those out. Thanks for hanging out with us. And today, in our marriage mornings, we do 4 things every single day. What
That's
are
right.
they?
We pray, we share a past gratitude, something that I or she is thankful for that either one of us did yesterday. We share a future hope and then also a future goal for the day. So let's kick it off.
Okay.
Want to pray?
Yes.
All right.
Dear Lord, thank you so much for all of our blessings. God, help us to turn those gifts into value into the world, bring joy and love and peace and hope and all those good things to everybody. Thank you so much for all you've given us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you.
Past gratitude. Do you have one?
Let's see. I'm thankful for you keeping things calm yesterday. You were helpful and you make our house very nice in more ways than one. So,
I'm going to
thanks.
lovingly ask you to speak slightly faster.
Okay.
I love you. Past gratitude is I'm thankful for the dinner you cooked last night. It was really good. The green beans
good.
and chicken and
Dill
mustard sauce.
Dijanaise. Yes,
was delicious.
It was. Future hope. Today, there's a lot of stuff to get done. We fly out tomorrow for Chicago Con. And we got to get some stuff done. We're doing taxes today too, so we'll be super busy and we're going to get it done.
Yeah, my hope is that the day just goes well, that there's not tons of distractions and stuff like that. My goal is a bunch of things. I've got to get ready for the flight, so I'm going to do a ton of work on the airplane, which means I've got to get my computer and my hard drives and all my equipment ready. And so that's my goal, is packing, doing that, and getting all my ducks in a row.
Yeah. Same thing. I have a bunch of stuff to do at work, see clients, hang out with people, and then do AWIM stuff later today. So
nice. So,
all right.
Learning is loving. What does that mean? I had this idea 10 minutes ago.
Yeah. As
I was doing my makeup, and I was really thinking about the fact that oftentimes we get questions from listeners and they're like, oh, I don't know how to blah, 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 blah. I can't X, Y, and Z. And it's great that you're sharing your questions. And the first thing that always comes to my mind is, well, what are you listening to that's going to help you get to that goal?
Right.
Like what podcasts, what other things are you doing? Why is my mic so low? It should be a lot higher than that. That's weird. Hold on a second. So this episode is all about that kind of thing. This episode is all about the podcasts we listen to, the shows, the educational stuff, the interviews, all that stuff.
Let's just go to the concept. Learning is loving. Like, I can show love to my spouse by learning how to do things that she likes. If she really likes me to cook, then I can learn how to be a good chef. I can learn how to get motivated or do things that are inspirational. And learning is also loving to yourself. I found, we've talked about it before, that if you want to change your marriage, change yourself first, and all of us need some self-improvement. So, what books are you reading? What podcasts are you listening to? What sermons are you listening to? What kind of people are you hanging out? What are you doing every single day? And we wanted to share the books that the topics of books that we've read over the last 2 years.
Books and podcasts and different things. But then the next step is how you turn that education into an actionable step in your relationship. I think that's where a lot of people fall short.
Okay, so let's share some of the topics. Money. We started listening to money books, specifically Dave Ramsey, Total Money Makeover.
We listen to the Dave Ramsey podcast. We also listen. I listen to the Rachel Cruz podcast. It's Dave Ramsey's daughter. So we listen to and read books on finances so that we understand them, and then we can come to our relationship and work on how we spend our money, budgeting, all of those things. They are very important. So that those are 2 resources we do.
We both just read Smart Kids, Smart Money by
Smart Money, Smart Kids.
Smart Money, Smart Kids. And that was awesome.
The next one is in sexuality. Like there's Esther Perel has an amazing podcast called Where Should We Begin? There is Dr. Corey Allen, Sexy Marriage Radio, Emily Nagoski, Come As You Are.
Dr. Tina Shermer-Sellers.
Sex God in the Conservative Church. We have an entire multiple podcast episodes about sex and intimacy. We recorded our own sex therapy sessions. So you can listen to those.
We even went to a sex therapist, so There you go. Yeah, I know. That was too.
And then as far as parenting goes, there's a podcast called The Longest Shortest Time. It's all about like motherhood. It's so good if you're a mom. Listen to it. It's all sorts of different topics, all sorts of different things that mothers and parents and families go through. That's a really good one for parenting. Home stuff, there's the Minimalists is one show that I really like, but if that's like a documentary, that's a Netflix documentary.
Yeah, documentaries, those are really powerful too. We've watched a zillion of those.
Yep. Individual growth, there's a ton in that category. Ed Milet.
Yeah, so Ed Milet, Order of Man podcast, David Goggins, a book called Can't Hurt Me. That one changed everything, and I just recently read that one. Let's see. Education. Well, I went to grad school.
Hold on. Individual growth. I was say, I would include in that spiritual growth too, personal spiritual growth.
Yeah.
But I listen to Joyce Meyer podcast every single morning. She's got 2 different versions of her show, a short one and a long one. I listen to both of them. Individual growth. Also, when I was trying to, actually, I guess this is education, but when I knew that I wanted to do something, make a podcast, whatever it was, I didn't know what it was at the time. I started listening to like business leadership podcast because I knew I wanted to work with people, but I knew I didn't have that skill. I hadn't learned it in school. So I was listening to like Harvard Business Review, working with people podcast, some random thing.
I bought 5 books from Harvard Business Review a couple of years ago.
But that's a podcast. I was listening to
that's a podcast now, but we bought the books also a while back. Education on anything. It doesn't just have to be books. You can literally learn anything on TED Talks, on YouTube.
That's a great
all the resources are completely out there. Business, I like Gary Vaynerchuk. He is really good. He's fast moving. Ed Milet. Let's see. Marketing, same thing. We listen to the ClickFunnels guy. What's his name?
Russell Brunson. He's got a book. His book is really inspiring. Yeah,
it's really good too. And fiction and leisure, like I have read Lord of the Rings books several times over, and I really like those. Kind of can turn your brain off and you just read stuff. And if you're saying, oh, well, I don't have time to read or do this, that's a lie. You do. If you drive in a car or if you ride on a subway or a bus, audiobooks, you absolutely have time. We do Audible, which is great. And this is hilarious. This is just a testament to how awesome Melanie is. So she doesn't read books at just the normal speed. She reads them at like 1.5, and I was thinking of that, and I started doing that too, but she was an inspiration. It's like, that is picture perfect because that really exemplifies who you are. You want to get education, and you want it fast and download it quickly, and that's not because you're impatient. It's because like, let's do this. We got stuff to do, and so reading books even at 1.5 speed or faster is really good. You just got to get used to the kind of chipmunky voice, but that's not a big deal. And if you don't think that this isn't you, it is you. It can be you. Around this is also a really strong growth mindset that you can read. You have a brain. It's downloadable. You can have information put into it. All you have to do is do it if you really want it.
Well, then I would encourage to, like you said, you can read if you're in a car or in a bus. Well, you can also read if you're mopping a floor or doing dishes or weeding your driveway or walking to pick up your kids from school or whatever. That's how I take in information. I actually literally almost never am not listening to something. So I'm an audio engineer for my work. And the second I put pause on my computer, I actually turn right around and turn my phone on. And it's either, how to parent. It's parenting books like Speak So Your Kids Will Listen and Listen So Your Kids Will Speak, or Talk So Your Kids Will Listen. Or a Dr. Dan Siegel books about, brain stuff. And
if you, like I said, if you drive or if you work out or how about this? If you're not talking to somebody, then you should have something in your ears improving your life, improving your brain.
You don't need to should on people. You can do that.
You can.
But the next step is then taking the things that you've learned and putting them into your relationship. That's the bridge between, I've learned all these things, now I can see how they impact my relationship. That can sometimes mean taking notes, making sticky notes, putting them everywhere, little things you've learned, and put them on your window, on your mirror, on your whatever. So I just want to really encourage you. I'm going to have a list of these different shows and podcasts to share with this episode. So thank you for hanging out with us this morning. Use hashtag Marriage Mornings to let us know what you're working on. And please rate and review the podcast on iTunes. It helps us out a ton. It just makes us feel good too.
Yeah. All right, guys.
We have feelings
Thank you.
too,
Hope this is valuable to you. Peace out.
Have an amazing day. Bye.